Hey, house guests. Welcome to today's Big Brother 22 updates and spoilers. Our house guests, I always feel like my forehead looks so huge in these. Our house guests of the day are Georgia L. Knight and Gail Murphy. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, like these lovely ladies, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. We have lots to discuss today, including, yes, the wall yeller. So we will get there, but we have some stuff to talk about that before that too. So I want to thank yesterday's super chatters before we get started, because you guys are awesome too. So we've got Brant Phillips, Anita Starr, Jefferson Tucker, Rachel McClung, Andres Lambaria, John McBroom, Kay Moore, Michelle Campbell, The Baron 69, Nikki Goodhead, Jamie Marie, and Be Well. Thank you all so much. You guys really are amazing, and we couldn't do without you. Jefferson, thank you. Oh my God. Too much. You're too much. All right. So let's get started. When we left off yesterday, Kevin won the power of veto, which was okay. Like, obviously, I'm not gonna lie, I was rooting for Kaser, but it was exciting to see someone different win the power veto than, the same people have been winning competitions over and over again. So it was at least exciting to see Kevin win something. So Enzo is trying to figure out who the replacement nominee is going to be. He's like, I don't want to put up David. I don't want to put up Ian. He wants to ensure that Kaser will go. And David and Ian would be a little too targety, a little too targety, not enough pawny. He needs a solid pawn, somebody who's not going to go home against Kaser. So Christmas volunteered to be a pawn before the power of veto. So he's going to talk that over with her and see if she's still down to clown. Okay, so Ian and Christmas were chatting in the bathroom area, and Ian's asking, what do you think? What are you thinking for the replacement nominee? Who do you think it's going to be? And Christmas says, well, Enzo is going to talk to everyone. He's looking for a pawn. He wants somebody who's definitely going to stay and who will take it with grace. So she says, I already told Enzo last night, if you need me, use me. And Ian's like, okay, well, I feel like if I go up on the block, yeah, I'll handle it with grace, but I don't think I would stay. He feels like people would want to vote him out because he's already won this whole thing before, and he's a huge target, right? He said there's some risk there for him, but Christmas is like, oh no, I think if you do go up, like, you would absolutely stay. It's going to be a unanimous vote no matter what. Kaser's going to go. Nobody's going to go against the house. Boo! I'm sick of this shit. Like, I want to see a shakeup. I want people going against the house. So Ian says, the last time someone told me I was a pawn, if I didn't win the veto, I would be $500,000 poorer. So there's that. That should be making Christmas think, right? But oh my God, can you imagine? Please let Christmas go up on the block as a pawn and get voted out. That would be so funny, because this is freaking All-Stars, for crying out loud. People are volunteering to be pawns on All-Stars? Like, you deserve to be evicted for that. So Enzo and Cody chat in the HOH room, and Enzo's going through his plan for the day. He says, all right, I'm going to talk a little more to Christmas today. She's probably who I'm going to put up because she volunteered. And they agree. That's a golden situation. If she agrees to do it, and they can pretty much guarantee, I mean, it's not a guarantee, but they feel like it'll be a guarantee that Kaser will go. They are loving that. So Enzo's like, yeah, it's great. Christmas wants to work with me. She wants to pay me back for giving her the +1 for my safety suite the other week. And she's like trying to prove herself to me that she wants to work with me. Cool. So she knows that everyone's voting Kaser out. She feels comfortable enough to volunteer. But Enzo's also like, I don't want to lose her, because she's going to be really good for our games in the future. Because remember, Enzo is planning on using Christmas to take out his allies, meaning the girls. He wants Christmas to take out, like, Devon, Danny, Bailey eventually probably. So Nicole, like he's planning on using Christmas to take out all of them somehow, which there's no way. But okay. So Enzo says he's had a pretty good week. You know, it's been annoying. It's been stressful with everyone trying to force their plans onto him. But he says if you look at it, he put Kevin and Kaser both up on the block, and both of them still want to work with him. Or at least that's what they're saying. So he feels pretty good about that. So then Cody's saying, you know, we should talk to Kevin more because Kevin has been saying that he's alone in this game and he's just like waiting to get scooped up. So Enzo agrees. He's like, yeah, sounds good. Let's bring him in. Let's get this going. Enzo's ready to make even more alliances. So he's like, yeah, I told Kevin that I'm not putting him up again. And honestly, I trust him more than I trust the girls in my own alliance. Ridiculous. Okay, so it's just I feel like Enzo sets up all these alliances and then there's like a shiny new one and he's like, I want that one now, and he just like forgets about the old ones. I feel like that's what's happening. Like he's really pumped up about working with Kevin now, and Christmas, of course. So then they're talking about the Slick Six. You know, same old song we've heard. Day and Bay are too paranoid. They would like to get rid of Day and then pull in Bailey closer. And they agree that Bailey will be a stronger asset without Day, because who's she going to go to once Day is gone, right? She's going to be all theirs. So that's where they're going with that. So Cody says the next 3 weeks are going to be critical for him and Enzo. It'll get them to the back half of the game once the jury starts. And then from that point, they just got to win competitions. That sounds so boring to watch. That sounds horrible. Oh my God. So Cody says, we just have to be careful because people are going to start noticing how close you and I are. How are people not noticing this already? I mean, really. So he says Danny is going to be the one dropping that in people's heads. Okay, so Cody's like, yeah. I'm sorry. Enzo says, yeah, Danny's dangerous, bro. Why don't you put her up? I mean, right? You're talking about how dangerous she is all the time. Why are you not making a move here? You have the perfect opportunity. The veto has already been played. But anyway, Cody agrees. Yeah, she's dangerous, but she trusts us. Cody is not ready to get rid of Danny yet because Danny brings him a hell of a lot of information. So he's like, yeah, she's fine. Like, I'm pretty sure she's after Memphis, which I think she is at this point anyway. She keeps telling everybody if she wins HOH, she would put up Memphis. That being said, I feel like she's also throwing HOHs because she doesn't want to have to make any moves right now. So Enzo says, great, I would love to see her win and freaking do something, make a move. Okay, so Nicole and Ian check in the lounge, and they're talking about the replacement nominee. They feel like the smartest option for Enzo would be to put up David, but they don't think Enzo's going to do that. So Nicole says she already talked to Enzo, and she told him that her and Ian would vote out Kaser if that's going to keep them off the block. Like, they're totally fine with doing that. Just don't put Ian up. So she tells Ian, Enzo's going to talk to you today, and he really likes you. So you just need to make sure that you make it clear that you're not close to Kaser and you won't flip your vote. Like, you need to tell him you're going to vote Kaser out. So Ian's like, of course. Like, I know, obviously. So Nicole says, no funky business of throwing in a weird vote, because that's stupidity. She says if Kaser stays, it's not good for anybody. Which, like, I feel like Kaser staying would be good for a lot of people, especially Ian. Like, that would be great for Ian's game. But Nicole's like, no, it'd be bad for everyone. So Nicole says that Kaser's been going around saying stuff about the two of them. You know, he was saying that they were really close, which they are, and he was trying to split them up. And she says Kaser was going around to other people trying to make deals, and he's never come to her, so he's got to go. So she says to Ian, whether he's coming to you out of sincerity or gameplay, he's got to go. So again, Ian keeps saying of course, like, I'm gonna do that, of course. He's saying Kaser's gotta go. It hurts. It just hurts more hearing Ian say that. Okay, so then Christmas and Tyler have a game chat up on the Sky Bridge. It's a meeting of the Carolinas. So Tyler asks, who do you think the replacement nominee is going to be? And Christmas says, I think maybe David or Ian. Enzo didn't tell her yet that he wants to take her up on her offer to be the pawn this week. They didn't have that conversation yet, so she doesn't realize it's gonna be her. So Tyler's like, Ian would be a vote for us, though. Like, he would vote with us, so I don't think it's a good idea for him to go up. And Christmas says, we're going to have the votes to get Kaser out no matter what, so it doesn't really matter. So Christmas says, after Kaser goes, Bailey probably needs to go next. Wait, what? Okay, I know that she's targeting Day and Bailey, but there's been debates, like, all week, who's going to be the next one. Is it going to be Day or Bailey going? And Christmas has been leaning more towards getting rid of Devon first. So I don't know what changed here. That now she's saying that she wants Bailey to go first. It's interesting. I don't know if Nicole convinced her or what. But she said if Bailey's in the jury, she's going to have a personal vendetta against anyone who takes her out. And, I mean, Tyler knows that better than anyone. So Tyler says, yeah, nobody's going to want to take Bailey out, especially him. So people are just going to keep passing it off to the next person. So that's going to have to be Bailey's going to have to be taken out at some point. So then Tyler's asking Christmas, have you, said to anyone that we don't have to vote Kaser out this week? Because I'm hearing, you may have said something like that. And Christmas says, no, that's not accurate. But I did say that he's not really a threat in competitions. She's kind of implying, we don't really need to get rid of Kaser yet. So Tyler's like, I know you're tight with Kaser, but at this point, he's probably too far gone for you to fight for him. It's just going to come back looking bad on you. So, don't mess with that. That's going to make people really skeptical about you. And Tyler's like, yeah, Danny is always planting seeds. You got to be careful with her. You really do. And he says, don't give Danny ammunition, right? Because she will take that and run. Okay, so Enzo talks with Kevin in the HOH room. And Enzo says, guess what? Christmas wants to pull together a secret squad with the two of us. So he's talking about how Christmas is volunteering to go up in Kevin's place, and it makes things so much easier for him, and they have the votes to keep her. It's going to be great. So Enzo says, Christmas told me that she wants you to pull her aside and talk so that you guys can compare notes and we can get this, secret squad going. So he says Christmas was also thinking about, somewhere down the line, pulling in Memphis, maybe somebody else. But for right now, it's just going to be us three. So if you think about it, okay, say Kaser does go this week, and then they do pull in Memphis to their, new alliance, Enzo will have an alliance with everyone left in the house except for Ian. So I guess he's just leaving one target for himself if he wins HOH again, right? That's ridiculous. So anyway, Enzo's like, Kevin, I know you're loyal. You didn't say anything bad about me after I nominated you. I saved you in week 1, which he doesn't mean. Okay, remember in week 1 when Enzo won the power veto and he did not use it on Kevin? But he's still saying that he saved him because he voted to keep him. Okay. So he's like, yeah, we already agreed, we're not going to put each other up moving forward. And they, reiterate that. So Enzo says he's going to be indebted to Kevin and Christmas moving forward since they are both going to be pawns for him. That's it. At the end of this conversation, Enzo teaches Kevin how to man shake, which is one of those high fives or a handshake into a hug. Cool. Okay, so then a little while later, Kevin finds Christmas to chat in the comic bedroom. And I didn't realize that Christmas was going to get to keep her star babies. I noticed them all on her bed still, and I was like, what? But anyway, Kevin says, I feel like people were really underestimating underestimating me before, and he feels like he proved himself in the POV competition that he can be a strong asset, and maybe people want to work with him now. So Enzo, Kevin also says, Enzo told me to come and talk to you. And he's like, it's going to be good. Christmas seems really confused. I wasn't sure if I like missed a conversation between Christmas and Enzo where they discussed like making an alliance with Kevin and like tell him to come find me like that. I didn't see that. So I don't know if it was just like not on the feeds or if Enzo was like creating this in the moment. But again, Christmas seemed kind of caught off guard and confused. And she was like, wait, like he's going to put me up? Is that what's happening? Is that what this is about? Like to replace you on the block? She says, I don't want to go up. So Kevin says, no, like he's talking about the three of us working together and for her to go up as a pawn. So Kevin's like, yeah, I feel really good about it. We're going to do big things. And Christmas says, yeah, I love it. So Christmas says she's not sure who Enzo's going to put up. She hopes it's going to be someone who won't take it personally. Okay, then don't take it personally, Christmas. So Kevin's like, oh, so you haven't talked to him about this at all yet? Christmas is like, no, I haven't been able to catch him yet and chat. So obviously she does not know that she's going to be going up on the block. You know, she made that volunteer. She volunteered like in passing almost. And then like she's finding out, oh shit, I might actually have to follow through on that. So she asked Kevin, what do you think Enzo's going to do? And Kevin's like, I think Enzo should just tell you himself. So he says, we should go talk to him together. All right. So then Christmas goes up to talk to Enzo in the HOH room, and Kevin is going to meet them. But as they were going into the room, Kevin saw that Day was hanging out on the sky bridge. So it would have been like really suspicious if he didn't stop and talk to her. So he's talking to Day for a little while. He's going to join Christmas and Enzo later. So Enzo says, hey, Kevin's on board to work with us. And he said he's going to vote for you to stay. And Christmas is like, wait, so you do want me to go up? And Enzo says, yes, it's going to be great. It's going to be easy because I can just say that I gave you the +1 from the safety suite the other week. And now in return, you're going to be a pawn for me this week. So Christmas is like, all right, I'm good with it. Her only concern, she doesn't want people to start thinking that they can use her as a pawn regularly. You know, this is like a one-time thing. She's not going to be a pawn star this season. So Enzo's like, no, it'll work out because I'm going to tell everybody that this was just you paying me back. So he says, like, everybody knows, too, that Kaser is going this week. It's done. It's going to happen. So Enzo's telling Christmas, you need to go and win the next HOH competition. And she's like, well, who's the target going to be? Because, you know, she needs her instructions. It just feels like season 19 again, and I just can't. So anyway, says the way he plays, he likes to let the HOH decide what they want to do. And like the HOH's allies should support that. That's what they did with the brigade. But he is, you know, he's going to talk things through with her. But it is her decision at the end of the day. So Christmas is like, all right, well, I've got some ideas, but I'm going to need some confirmation. So she views her going up as a pawn this week as an opportunity for her to see who campaigns against her. Okay. So she's got some targets in mind, and the people that she's thinking of just so happen to be close to Kevin. She's talking about Bailey and Devon. So she's like, hopefully we can find out through Kevin if they're trying to flip the vote on me. Do you guys think that Kevin would sell out Bay and Day like that to Christmas and Enzo? I'm hoping no. I really hope not. At least not Devon, because he's got like a final 2 deal with her, and he was with her first. So I don't think so. But then again, you never know. I mean, Kevin can be kind of shady, right? All right. So then Enzo is going on and on about how the two of them and Kevin need to stay loyal to each other. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So then Kevin joins them after a while. They solidify their trio. And I think they're calling themselves the Tickle Monsters because they like tickle information out of people, like just a little tickle, getting that info out. And they reassure Christmas, you're going to be fine up on the block. Kaser is going. Okay. So a little later, Day and Bailey are alone in the kitchen. This is just a quick little thing. So Bailey goes up to Day and she says, I don't know what it is, but something in my spirit is really clashing with Danny right now. I can't put my finger on it, but something is off. Good call, because she is trying hardcore to get other people to take you guys out next week. Yeah. Okay, so then a few minutes later, oh my god. Okay, a few minutes later, here we go. Most of the house guests are out in the backyard just like hanging out, and there was another wall yeller. What? So this time the voice was very loud and very clear. Sounded like they had a bullhorn. It wasn't just some yelling. So the wall yeller said, Nicole and Cody are playing everyone. Nicole and Cody are playing everyone. It said it twice. And immediately the feeds go down after that. So I just want to say, like, before this all went down, somebody said on Twitter that they were going to do this. They showed like a picture of a bullhorn. They were like, what should I say? And Evil Dick was the one that suggested Nicole and Cody are playing everyone. And that's what happened. I see that he did not include Danny in this. Thanks, Dad. Okay. 5 minutes. So I have no idea what happened during that time, but it seems like it was pretty interesting, judging by what happened after that. Yeah. So I'm also not sure, like, when they take the feeds down for so long after a wall yeller, is because they're trying to like not let us hear what the house guests are saying, or like, are we being punished? Like, I don't really know for sure, but it's sad. But anyway, I'm not usually into outside influence like that. But honestly, with all the pregame alliances and everything this season, does it really matter? I mean, there was already so much interference, right? So like, who cares at this point? But anyway, I'm wondering how this is going to impact the game moving forward. You know? So when the feeds come back, Day and Christmas, we're chatting in the bathroom area, and Day says, I don't want Kaser to go. Oh, what? She says, I don't want Kaser to go. You don't want Kaser to go. Bailey, David, they don't want Kaser to go. She's not really sure where like David or Ian or Memphis stand, but she thinks it's possible that they might not want Kaser to go. So Christmas is like, well, it would depend on who's up on the block next to him. At this point, Christmas knows, so she knows she's supposed to be going up next to Kaser. So Christmas is like, unless Enzo puts someone up and states why they're the new target, I don't think anybody will want to like not vote Kaser out and go against the house and divide the house. I'm so sick of this like new school style of playing where nobody can go against the house and you can't divide the house. It's so annoying. It's so boring to watch. So Day is like, how long are we going to play this game and not want to upset the house? She said, that's terrifying. I don't want to become collateral damage of not wanting to upset the house. That's not why I came here to play. Yes, right? Okay, thank you. We've been waiting for this from Day. So Christmas suggests, you know what, Day? You should go and talk to Enzo tonight. Fish around, see what he's thinking. She says, Kaser's already been talking to Enzo, saying that he would be willing to work with him moving forward. So maybe Enzo just doesn't realize that there are people that would back Kaser up. It wouldn't just be Kaser wanting to work with Enzo. So they agree. Maybe Enzo just needs a little nudge. And they like that if Kaser stays, he's going to be a target in front of them. So this is really interesting because, like, I'm wondering if Christmas, I mean, we already knew that she's close-ish to Kaser, and she's got a thing going with him, but I wasn't sure if she actually wanted him out or if she was just going along with it because everybody else was. But now it seems like she's kind of interested in Kaser possibly staying, and maybe she's rethinking going up on the block as the replacement nominee for Kevin. Okay, so then Day asks Christmas, what do you think about Nicole? Because Nicole came into the bathroom for a minute and then left. So Christmas is super close with Nicole, but she tells Day, we talk a little bit of game, but, it's just general stuff. That's a lie. So Christmas says, I didn't really associate Nicole and Cody together. And Day says, I didn't either until, what happened today. And she says, I thought they were, beefing or at odds in the game. What the actual F, you two? Oh, my God. They're lying, right? They're just lying to each other. They've got to be. Because, come on. Obviously, Nicole and Cody are working together. Come on. I just can't. So, meanwhile, Cody and Danny were in the lounge talking. And this, I'm not going to go into their whole conversation because it's pretty much what we've been hearing anyway this whole time. So they're going through the debate of who should go first between Day and Bailey. After Kaser, of course. They're both still saying Kaser's got to go this week. So Cody is still saying Devon's got to go first because she kind of holds the other side together. Bailey and Kevin, David's in there somewhere. So once she's gone, that other side is going to fall apart. And then Danny is still saying that Bailey's got to go first because she is a better competitor. Okay. So then Kaser was talking to Ian up in the HOH room, and the feed switched to their conversation after they already started talking, so we didn't hear the beginning of this. But we hear Ian say, I believe the things that you've told me, but I haven't been in a position of power to do anything about it. Yeah, it's a bummer. So Kaser's like, do you think Enzo's in that whole big clique? Or do you think he's, just on the fringe? Oh, he's very much in that clique. So Ian's like, I don't know. Kaser says, well, I'm screwed if Enzo's actually in it. I'm really hoping he's just on the fringe and I can make something happen here to save myself this week. So Ian's like, let's see what tomorrow brings. And Kaser's like, okay, but I need to see if I can make something happen or else I'm going to be in trouble. He says the window of opportunity is closing. Yes, it is. And he feels like the only real chance that he would be able to stay is if David goes up on the block. Right? He feels like maybe he can convince people to vote David out because he had that whole situation last week where he lies. So next, Kaser makes a pitch to Enzo. And Kaser's like, obviously, I know you've got something good going on. I know why you're making the decisions that you're making. I get it. I understand it. But he's asking Enzo, is this the thing for you in the game? Working with that group? Especially after what happened today with that wall yeller. Hearing that Nicole and Cody are playing everyone. So he says, you have to be thinking about the pecking order after hearing that. Are you really as tight with these people as you think they are? He says, you'd be foolish to think that you're the only game in town. That's such a fun phrase. I need to use that more. But Enzo's like, no, of course I'm thinking about it. I don't trust anyone. So Kaser's like, well, I've got no one in here. Ever since Janelle left, I've got no one. I'm a free agent, and I told you I want to work with you. So Enzo's like, all right, well, what do you want me to do? What could I even do to help you? And Kaser's like, well, you're going to be picking a replacement nominee. Also, you're going to have some influence over the vote as the HOH. So there's a lot that you can do. But Kaser's like, if you could just give me a chance to stay. He says, I hate saying this because I love the guy, but David, he feels like David is the only one who's done something to piss a bunch of people off. Maybe he can convince people to vote David out instead of him. So Kaser's like, if you do, I will never forget it. I will be in your back pocket. So he says, right now, you're doing Tyler, Cody, Danny, and Nicole's bidding. Those four are together. Where do you feel like you stand in that group? Are you on the fringe? So Kaser is then talking about how that group of 4, they've all got outside relationships together. And they're all going to Nicole's wedding. I don't know if that's necessarily true that all of them are, but I think some of them are possibly. And Kaser says, I wasn't invited to Nicole's wedding. I don't know these people. That's amazing. Okay, so then Enzo's like, all right, you're making great points. Yeah, sure. I need to talk to people. I feel like he's just BSing Kaser at this point because he doesn't want to deal with this anymore. He's already sick of this HOH week. He thought he was going to be done, and now this wall yeller thing happened, and people are, scrambling a bit. So Christmas is the next one in the HOH room with Enzo, and Enzo starts by saying, Kaser is out of his mind. No, he's not! So he tells Christmas all about Kaser's proposition, asking for David to go up on the block next to him. And Christmas is like, wow, oh my God. So then Christmas tells Enzo, I'm sorry, but your night is not going to end there. I just wanted to give you the heads up. I had this conversation with Day earlier. I'm not saying we should do this. I'm just telling you what Day was saying to me so that you'll be prepared. And, we are going to need to think about where our little alliance of me, you, and Kevin is going to land. What side. So she says, Day was talking about you, me, and her working with Bailey, David, and Memphis, and Kevin all on the same side. So that would be 7. And then if Kaser stays this week, that would be 8 against everybody else. So Christmas, again, is like, I don't give an F what you decide. Like, you can make the call. It's up to you. And she says, on the other side, you've got Danny, Nicole, Tyler, Cody, Ian. That's 5. So if you, me, and Kevin decide to go to that side, it'll be 8. Okay. Against everybody else. So, they're in the middle right now. They can decide what they're going to do. So Enzo's like, all right, well, who does Day want to take out this week if she wants to keep Kaser? And Christmas is like, I don't know exactly, somebody from the whole, Danny, Nicole, Tyler, Cody, Ian side. Not sure which one. So it's Danny. But Christmas says it's up to Enzo what he wants to do. She's still cool with going up on the block if that's what he decides. So Enzo's like, I love you. You're amazing. Thank you for telling me this. It's so great. So he's really feeling this alliance right now. All right. So then Bailey and Devon talk to Enzo next. This is the conversation that Christmas warned him about. So he starts off again by telling them all about Kaser's campaign, trying to get David up on the block, blah, blah, blah. Then Enzo asks, what are you guys feeling? And he says, I know we talked before, and you're a little bit worried that you might be at the bottom of the Slick 6. You're not feeling great about that group. So, what are you thinking now? So Bailey says, Danny is up to some funny shit. So Enzo agrees, yeah, Danny is all over the place. It makes him worried that Cody talks to Danny so much. He feels like Danny is running the whole house right now. Then why don't you do something about it? But Bay and Day, again, are talking about how they're worried that they're going to be dropped for Nicole and Ian. They feel like Danny and Cody have this whole other 5 or 6 going on the other side with all these other people, like Nicole, Ian, Nicole and Ian. So Bailey says, we should take out a major target this week. We can save Kaser for next week. We should take out somebody else right now because we're going to need numbers. So they ask Enzo, would you be willing to take a shot at Danny this week? And Enzo's like, I'm too scared. He says he's too scared to make that move right now, but he would love for somebody else to win HOH and do it next week. So they tell him, this is the time to do it. This is a great time to do it. She needs to be backdoored. She needs to be put up after the veto. And look, it's after the veto. She didn't win it. She's not safe. So we should just go for it. So they tell him the votes would be there if you do this. And Enzo's like, I'm so scared. I don't want to do it. So like all this time he's been calling himself Meow Meow, but he's really a scaredy cat. Seriously though, like he's being a scaredy cat. It's so lame. So eventually he does end up telling them, look, I'm planning on putting on Christmas as a pawn. She volunteered. Let's just get rid of Kaser this week. Boo. Okay, so then they end up having a Slick Six meeting, and he tells like Danny, Cody, and Tyler also that he is putting up Christmas because she volunteered. Great. Okay, so then there were still some late night conversations. Christmas talked to Enzo again, and she was like, oh, I don't know. If you put me up on the block, like, are people going to think that we're working together? Because, like, when somebody puts up a pawn like that, it either means that they don't mean anything to the HOH or they're working together and they feel comfortable with them. Comfortable. So are people going to think we're working together? Yeah. Yo, is she trying to bail right now? I don't know if she's scared that a vote would flip or she's thinking she wants to try and keep Kaser. But Christmas is trying to get off the block. So she's like, maybe we should just put up David instead. And Enzo's like, I don't think so, because no. He's worried that Kaser would be able to flip the vote and David would go and Kaser would stay. So he's like, I know that Kaser will go if you're up next to him. I feel safer with that. So let's just do that. All right. So then Tyler and Cody were talking. Woo! Okay, Tyler is in a pissy mood. He is not happy because he just found out that Nicole knows about the Slick Six Alliance, which he is not a part of. So he's really pissed that nobody told him that she knows, because he got caught in a situation where she was like, oh, I know what the Slick Six is. And Tyler was like, what are you talking about? So now he's like, wow, I looked like a dick in front of Nicole. She's not going to trust me now. So Cody says, that's old news. Like, she has known about it. Danny basically told her about the Slick Six right away. Tyler was not happy. So Tyler's also realizing, wow, Danny tells Nicole like everything I say to her. He was already not liking Danny in the game, and he's really not happy with her now. So Cody says, Danny wants to take out Bailey before Day. He says doing that, there's no freaking way. Day's got to go first. And then another thing they were talking about, Cody and Tyler are wondering, should we tell Enzo about the committee? Because they're saying like their first alliance, their number one alliance is the three of them, Cody, Tyler, and Enzo. So they want to be honest with him. So the committee, again, is the Memphis Alliance with Memphis, Cody, Tyler, Nicole, Danny, and Christmas. They are going to tell him. Okay. And also, Cody spilled about Danny asking him to do the hinky votes with him. And Tyler's like, yeah, I had a feeling it was her. So that pretty much confirms it. Woo! All right. So Tyler's like all fired up. He goes to talk to Enzo in the HOH room, and they just dish about how they're not happy with Danny at this point. She's always planting seeds. They do not like it. So Tyler also drops to Enzo, hey, guess what I did? I think Tyler was feeling really angry too, since they lost the yard after they only had it for like a few hours because of the wall yeller. So he's like, I told Bailey that Danny adds fuel to the fire to take out her and Day. And guess what? I'm going to tell Devon about it too. Ah! So that explains a lot. That tells us why Day and Bailey are now saying that they want Danny out so hard. So that explains a lot. I'm assuming this conversation happened while the feeds were down for 3 hours and 45 minutes. Let's see that on the feeds. But anyway, Tyler is telling Enzo, like, you know what? We could take out Danny this week. You could do it. You could put her up and we could vote her out. And Enzo again is like, I want to wait until next week. I want somebody else to do it. So he's like, we could get Christmas, Bailey, or Day to do it. I just know. I just have this feeling that Danny is going to win the next HOH. I just feel it. Because now they're like, yeah, let's have somebody else take her out. And she's going to win that mother freaking HOH. So anyway, today, Ian was in the cameras this morning. and he was saying how he really wants to work with Kaser, and it just didn't shake out that way. And at this point, he feels like he's just dying a slow death. He's realizing, oh crap, I'm not trying to manifest it, guys. I'm just saying. I know I channeled Nicole there saying mother freaking, but that's the point we're at in this game. But yeah, Ian is saying, oh crap, I feel like I've gotten in with the wrong crowd, and I think I may have screwed myself over. Yeah, it's not looking good for Ian at this point. I mean, he's going to be stuck with all these super tough competitors going into like the back half of the game, and I don't know if he's going to be able to pull out these comp wins against them. Yikes. But anyway, he realizes he's in trouble. So also talking to Cody, and Enzo again is confirming, like, we should just take out Kaser this week. He's going after you and Tyler, which, like, I don't think he would necessarily. I think Kaser would be willing to work with them and take out some other targets first. But, Enzo is trying to make excuses for why Kaser should be going. So, yeah. They're really pissed. The two of them are really pissed that Danny is now jeopardizing their relationship with Tyler, because Tyler is so upset that nobody told him that Nicole knows about the Slick Six. So they're worried that Tyler is going to drift away and work with other people, and they're blaming it on Danny. So Enzo says he's ready to cut Danny loose at this point next week, not this week. Boo. So he's going to try and fuel the fire. He's saying, I'm going to tell Day that Danny's been talking crap about her after I see who wins the HOH competition. All right. So then Cody, it's time. Cody spills about the committee. He says it's me, Christmas, Memphis, Danny, Nicole, Tyler. And Enzo's just like, that's got to stop, yo. That's it. Like, that's over. And Cody's like, it never really mattered anyway, because, like, even, like, right after it started, we were all saying how much we love you, blah, blah, blah. All right. So they talk more about how they want to really focus on tightening things back up with Tyler. They want to make sure that they're good. They don't want to lose him. So they're going to work on that. And Enzo and Christmas. Cool. Okay. Sounds great. But it's interesting because Cody was like, my order after Kaser would be Day, Annie, and then Ian. So you can see this is got issues because Cody does not want Danny to go yet. I don't even know that Cody would necessarily want Danny to go second in that order. I think he might just be saying that. But that's going to cause some issues. Also, Cody does not want Nicole to go because that's like his biggest ally, I guess. There's going to be some tension here, but Enzo is definitely leaning more towards doing what Tyler wants and taking out Danny next. All right, so they had the Power Veto ceremony today. Kevin used the POV on himself, of course. And Enzo, the scaredy cat, nominated Christmas, which means it's Christmas versus Kaser up on the block. That is very depressing. Okay, so we've got 3 days left until the eviction. I'm just going to, like, put this out into the universe. Imagine if they could flip the votes and get rid of Christmas and keep Kaser. Christmas would be saved! No, yeah, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. Whee! Oh, the Smiler's here. So let me know what you guys think about all this. Hello, hello.
I have 2 questions.
Okay, cool. I want to thank all of our super chatters so much for the support. You guys are the best. So let's see who we got here. Jefferson Tucker. Thank you so much. You're a legend. You are a mother freaking legend. We've got Rachel McClung.
In the Nicole voice.
You're a mother freaking legend. Rachel McClung, thank you so much. Will I Am Bo. Thank you so much. You are awesome. Mary Patricia Darcy. Thank you so much. Amazing. Be well. You're amazing. Thank you so much. Mr. Roybot. Always loving that name. Thank you so much. Michelle Noel Creations. Thank you so much. S. Dean. Thank you so much. Alexis K. Okay. Alexis has a question. Can you describe your process of watching the feeds? I sure can. So, all right, let's see. Usually, okay, how am I going to break this down? So I watch a lot of live feeds, like at night, usually that is like our nighttime entertainment. And then because we live on the East Coast, I don't get to watch like the super late night stuff. So in the morning, I'll go through like flashbacks. I like to read Online Big Brother Daily, and what's the other one? It's like
Big Brother Network?
On Twitter. No, on Twitter it's, I think it's like BB22 live feeds or like Big Brother 22 live feeds. So I go through all of those and see like what was important, what happened. Also the flashbacks on the BB viewer extension on Chrome. So I go through all that. I comb through all that, watch everything that I feel like is important, and I compile my whole thing. And that's where we are. So thank you for asking that. No, I'm not sitting in front of the feeds 24 hours a day because I would literally die. But I do rely heavily on flashbacks. So yeah, thank you, Alexis, so much for the support. And thanks for the question. And I want to thank Daryl Manabusen. Thank you so much. Big Bro Watcher 22, thank you so much. And they have a question. Have I seen the videos of Day, Kevin, and Nicole dancing to Nicole and Cody are playing everyone on Twitter? I haven't seen that one, but I retweeted one of Day. She was listening to Tyler's HOH music from last week, and it was the audio of Nicole and Cody are playing everyone. It was very funny. That was a good time. So I'll have to look that one up. But thank you again for the support. Gail Murphy Comedy, thank you so much for the support. And Jefferson Tucker again, what? Thank you so much. You are awesome. So, whew.
Big up yourselves.
Yeah, thank you all. I hope that we can enjoy this week. Let's pray for something. Yeah. How insane would that? Okay, it would feel like an all-star season if the vote flipped this week and Kaser was able to stay.
Kaser's funeral.
Yeah, that would be all-star moment material.
Grodner. Big brother.
Yeah, big brother. We need help.
We need Kaser's funeral here.
Well, I thought I saw like right before we did this live stream that Enzo was talking about how production was trying to push him to put up Danny.
What?
So that I'm sure we'll be talking about that in tomorrow's live stream. But thank you all again so much. I gotta go. I'm hungry.
That's it.
That's it. So we'll see you all tomorrow. Yay! See you all tomorrow. Much love.